Tron, more than just a movie or a Disney ride. It's a crypto, and it has its very own blockchain with its very own open source code, except for the part they stole from Ethereum, but I digress. After all of these years, it has become clear that Tron is not one of the top Layer 1 contenders overall. However, it has certainly carved out a niche for itself, which gives it an advantage other Layer 1s don't have. The number one chain for the number one stablecoin in the world is Tron's version of USDT or Tether. The reason? Tron is lightning fast and incredibly cheap. But is that enough to make it worth adding to your portfolio? Find out today as we rank Tron among the top coins for this bull run at the very end. Stick around for my Tron price prediction. Let's get it.
I'm not a financial advisor.
Welcome to Armstrong Crypto X. Don't just trade crypto, experience it. Start your crypto journey off right by hitting that subscribe button and joining Ben Nation. If you enjoy these rating and price prediction videos, hit the like button so I know you want me to keep doing them. Today, we're looking at how Tron ranks among the top crypto assets for the 2024 and 2025 bull run. The grand finale, of course, will be my Tron price prediction, so make sure you stick around until the very end. Tron reached its all-time high of 23 cents way back in January of 2018, and it launched at just a cent. That massive rally happened in a matter of weeks, and within a month, it was already back down below 5 cents. Was it a classic pump and dump or just bad timing? We'll probably never know. Very few people were able to buy the bottom and sell the top, but if they did, they would have seen gains of around 15,000%. Realistically, there were only a few days where they could have sold to lock in major gains like that. Most people held all the way through, and it looked like Tron would never recapture the magic that it had at the end of that bull run in 2018. But it's a whole new era for Tron. So let's dig in and see how it scores among the top coins we've done so far. Then stay tuned for my Tron price prediction. Team 7. Tron Team is led by Justin Sun, one of the most controversial people in the industry. He was lucky enough to be at the right place at the right time in the early days of crypto, so he's had a very impressive history on paper. But his reputation makes him a bit of a liability for anything he's involved with. He's not the only person on the Tron team though. They have a ton of employees spread all across the world, and many of them are doing great work. I've actually visited the Tron headquarters in San Francisco. I do have some doubts though about their ability to see talent after they let a friend of mine go, so I can't forget that when I'm making my rating either. Marketing, 8. Tron goes hard with the marketing, and if I were just measuring it by scale and effort, it'd be an easy 10 for this category. But it's not that simple. You see, Tron pays celebrities for endorsements. They're visible at pretty much every crypto conference you go to. And Justin Sun, well, he's always finding his way into the news. In most cases, I feel like any publicity is good publicity. But when you have marketing campaigns blow up because celebrities are caught doing undisclosed ads, or you tease news so much that nobody takes your announcement seriously anymore, you've reached overkill territory. This is kind of what happened with Tron. The clumsy marketing finally starting to backfire. Everyone started to think that any positive mention of Tron was a hashtag ad, and Justin Sun became famous for making announcements of announcements. So the marketing actually became much less effective over time. This won't matter though for new people coming into the space that don't know the history. So I'd say their marketing is still pretty strong overall. Performance, 8. Tron never reclaimed his previous all-time high during the last cycle, and that usually makes me very bearish on a project, because in most cases it shows that the peak is already passed. Tron is a very interesting case though, because it quietly developed a strong utility that helped it stay in the top of the charts through multiple cycles. It was also pretty stable, even during the bear market. Holders of Tron didn't have any major opportunities for big gains during the last cycle, but they also didn't suffer major losses either. If you like opportunities for big gains, check out our channel sponsor Stake. Stake is the world's largest social casino where you can chat with other degens and earn gold coins while you play. Visit the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen to get your account started with Stake. Of course, there's fun, games, social chat, and more. Armstrong Crypto X is powered by Stake. Community, 7. Tron never developed much of a community until recently, but it seems to be growing fast, and I think that it could be making a lot of noise in this cycle. Like I said, there's a lot of new people coming into the space, and they have an entirely new context and narrative for Tron. They're starting with a clean slate and building a fresh community from scratch, it seems. I think it's working. Tokenomics, 7. The token distribution for Tron is not great. 10% of the supply is held by a private company entirely owned and controlled by Justin Sun, and then another 34% is held by the Tron Foundation. I was going into my research thinking that Tron's score for tokenomics would be much lower, but then I took a look at the inflation rate and noticed it was in the negative. That's right, the token is now deflationary. Back in February of 2021, the community voted to add a burning mechanism that has been reducing the supply over time, so this helps out the score a lot. Utility, 10. Tron is the most popular blockchain for sending and receiving the world's most popular stablecoin, Tether. This utility is Tron's secret weapon, and even if there aren't any other successful applications on Tron, it will still continue to be a successful blockchain as long as it continues to host those Tether transactions, as long as Tether is the top stablecoin. None of those things are guaranteed, and USDC will probably flip Tether at some point, but this won't be an overnight process. So maybe the Tron ecosystem will become a bit more independent by that point. Tron used to host USDC as well, but Circle, the company behind USDC, recently announced that it would be moving all of its liquidity off of Tron, so now Tether is going to be more of a lifeline than they ever were before. Speculation, 9. Tron was the underdog last cycle, but now we're heading into a bull run with a very bullish narrative. Tron is now becoming more associated with Tether than it is with Justin Sun and the drama from back in the early days. This is also the first bull market where Tron has been deflationary, and people have been getting excited about that too. Tron looks a lot stronger going into this bull market than the last one, which brings me to the chart. Chart 9. We haven't even reached the halving yet, and Tron is already within reach of its previous all-time high. Since Tron held up relatively well during the bear market, it is set up to bring most of its holders into profit very early in the cycle. In some ways, it seems like Tron has had a head start, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Now, if you like looking at charts all day long, then you'll love our official exchange partner and sponsor, Phemex. We're exclusive with them. Click the Phemex link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen. Then don't forget to grab your Palau e-residency program card so you can KYC when your card comes in the mail. That's how all the cool kids are trading these days. Tech, 5. There's really nothing special about Tron's tech. You might remember from my Tron explainer video that the white paper was plagiarized and a lot of the code was copied without any references, specifically from the Ethereum code. It's faster and cheaper than most blockchains out there, but that's because some major sacrifices have been made when it comes to decentralization. Decentralization, 5. This is another really rough spot for Tron. There's only 27 validators running the network, and it's nearly impossible for someone to run a node themselves. This is one of the most centralized blockchains in the top 50. Also, don't forget about the centralization of tokens I talked about earlier. The only real decentralized thing about this network is that it allows for open source development, and it's a permissionless blockchain that anyone can participate in. This gives Tron a final score of 75, placing it on the B tier. Puts it in the same tier as Ethereum, Pulsechain, and Link, and just below AVAX and ADA, and just above Bitcoin. So now, on to the moment you've all been waiting for, the price predictions. All of these price predictions are working off an approximate circulating supply of about 84 billion Tron, or TRX. These prices are based on previous bull markets with the expectation of fairly normal market conditions, no matter how far ahead of this pace we look now. So let's take a look at 3 different ways this could go: the bearish case, the bullish case, and then what I think is actually going to happen. In the most bearish case, I see Tron only reaching a price of 65 cents with a market cap of $11 billion. In this scenario, the Tether truthers were right about everything, and it was a ticking time bomb all along. They pulled some accounting tricks to fool the feds into thinking they were solvent, but maybe the information leaks, or there's just a run on the bank and Tether is unable to pay their customers back. With Tron not having much of an ecosystem outside of Tether, it would become a total ghost chain and quickly fall down the rankings if something like that were to ever happen. Now, I don't think it's going to happen. So let's imagine the opposite here. In the most bullish scenario, USDC would stumble somehow and allow Tether to reclaim its former glory as the unchallenged stablecoin. This might sound crazy, but we did learn during the Silicon Valley banking crisis that reliance on the traditional banking system in the US was a major weak point for USDC, so they aren't entirely invincible. To reach the most bullish price, Tron's ecosystem would also have to grow to much bigger than just Tron. In this scenario, I see Tron reaching a new all-time high of $5 with a market cap of $91 billion. Now, for a setup that requires a bit less imagination, This is what I actually think is going to happen. Tether will continue to carry Tron, and even though it's slowly losing market share to USDC, it's still not going anywhere anytime soon. Meanwhile, Tron's ecosystem will slowly build out to include some gaming, metaverse, and gambling platforms, which won't be anything massive, but I do think a few popular applications will pop off and it will become a network that people actually bridge over to. Not in large numbers, but enough to make up for the slow decline of Tether. Now in this case, I would see Tron reaching a price of $2 with a market cap of $38 billion. I want to know what you think of Tron and its potential for this cycle. Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to click the like button on the way out. It helps us keep the lights on. Be blessed.